Look at the fighter. Look at their faces. Look at their fists. That's their equipment. No bat, no ball. Just what God gave them. Look at the lines over his eyes and the width of his nose. They are faces that have been molded and shaped by other men. Each jab, each hook, each cross, like a brushstroke in a Picasso. Look at the fighter. Left hook, right hand, left hook. Draw him out, draw him out. Kick, just let those hands go. Kid Shamrock. Looks like Haynes may have had you hurt there early in the fight.
No middleweight alive can beat Shamrock. He's unbreakable. You can spell that, can't you? Unbreakable. Good. Bring on Valdez. That's what I say. All right? And you can print that as well. Amen, Patty.
So how does this win take you? Say you want to match me against Valdez. I don't see why not. We're the only two undefeated middleweights left. But the winner gets a crack at the world title. I'll take that deal any day. Don't celebrate too hard there, kid. If they too much of that stuff's no good for you. You know something? I read drinking too much booze will kill you. I think it was in your paper. I said, what? I read another day, smoking cigarettes will kill you too. You sure will. So I quit. Quit what? I quit reading your paper.
The motivation to be a boxer had to come from himself. I think the whole romance of Bobby's story and Kid Shamrock, I think we can do a nice piece that's going to stand up there as a kind of a little contribution to the kind of culture of our city from an Irish-American perspective. And it's an American play, it's an Irish-American play. And I also was interested in that whole blue-collar culture of kind of poverty, struggle, starvation, hunger, and trying to find that the only way that you can transcend that was at the end of a punch. And I'm not a boxing connoisseur, which is good for this play, I think, because I think I bring a kind of an everyman approach to the project, and hopefully we can make boxing communicable to a kind of a wider audience. I'm thinking women, mothers, daughters, husbands, wives, the whole lot. Kid Shamrock has been sober for 35 years, and that was his big triumph. We want to get that working class energy up there. How you doing? What's going on? Hey, 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 hey. It's that fucking play over here.
You know, with most boxing projects, people think of the, the whang bam and the fighting and the, the who's the toughest guy. And what I liked about Jimmy is that it's the story of the human nature, the man that was able to turn around and quit drinking. He brought out the more human side of the story, and I think that's what connects with people, and I think that he brought that sort of the bit of, like fighters, people are supposedly supernatural beings because they do basically do what's completely opposite in your human nature, and they have someone tell that story and make that not the shining light of it, but the fact that he goes to a gym, he's got a family, he's got a wife, and he's got kids, and he's, it was nice to see that been brought out, which is what a lot of people looking at a fighter will never see,
Listen, this show is really knitting it. This show is really knitting itself together, boys. Great job. We're very proud of all of you. It's really great. And I'm very proud of all our crew as well. All of our crew.
And in my humble opinion, you were definitely one of the best people.
You got it wrong. I look like nobody. I'm a bouncer.
Bouncer? Alright. Fine with me, you don't want anybody to know who you are, right?
You got it wrong, buddy.
Alright, boys, you want to hide your identity?
It was Madison Square Garden. The garden, not Sunnyside Garden.
I knew it was you, man. I knew it was you. I still remember that night. I still remember. March 15th, 1971. Just a couple of days before St. Patty's Day. Alas, the Ides of March, huh?
The Ides of March?
Yeah, Caesar.
Oh yeah, Cesar Chavez, good little fighter.
Yeah, as far as Bobby Cassidy goes, I was there right from the beginning. He was best friends with my brothers. He used to come over to the house. And I remember his first fight. We went to his first fight. I went with my older brother, took me. And it was a moment I never forgot.
Well, I've been in the ring with the star of the show, Bobby Cassidy, obviously as a sparring partner. I've been in the ring with Seamus McDonagh as a referee, and I've been in the ring, I think, 3 times with John Duddy as a referee. All of them, I'm kind of like, I'm still in awe. I'm 62 years old. I'm still in awe of these guys. I think they're incredible people and incredible fighters, and just, great human beings, and it's a pleasure working with them.
Your body gets so torn, like when you're fighting. And I took 72 stitches that night. It was like, that doesn't happen in play. Fighting Rodrigo Valdez is one thing, but talking about him is much easier.
Yeah, as time went on, I graduated from hanging posters and selling tickets to actually taking Robbie and Chris, his own kids, to the fight, looking after him at the fight, hanging out with them. And that was an exciting time, And to watch those kids watch their father was something else. When they're kids and you're watching this transpire right from the beginning, and they're just little guys, you don't realize how much of an impact it has on them, how much they're absorbing, how much they remember, and what they saw. And I didn't realize it until I saw Robbie's script. I didn't realize it at all that, wow, he remembered all this.
It was amazing. So I was surprised with how much I really enjoyed it. I think I'm very fortunate that Seamus McDonagh called me and he sent it to me and I read it. I couldn't believe how many similarities and words and sentences that were actually quite common to things that went through my head in my time as being a fighter. And they go and be involved in it and meet your father and like the real life guy that we're supposedly portraying. I mean, it was a tremendous experience. And then to get on stage and let on to get beat up for a change was brilliant. It was thrilling. I took Nick to Gleason's. It was about 2 weeks before the play, and I got him in the ring and we got him relaxed and let him, because he had never been in a boxing gym before. He's done training and he's done a bit of fighting before, but he was never actually in a boxing ring. And after doing a bit of pads with him and getting him relaxed, then we just knuckled down and figured on what's the best way to make this look. And a lot of people think fighting's throwing lots of punches, and they try and get it realistic. Like we basically broke it down. I think there's about 8 punches thrown in the first scene, and I think there's about 12 or 14 in the second. And it was the fact that, as I was telling, we were trying to make it more damaging looking rather than repetitive looking, And I think, I suppose it was like everything else with the play, it was like we were all shooting from the hip, and we both give it 110%, and we were really pleased with how it turned out and with what people thought of it.
The recreation of the Valdez fight with Nick Roman and John Duddy was amazing. People in the audience thought they had a fight, and I'm not too sure that some of those punches weren't real. And to boot, add an authenticity to that fight scene. You have Wayne Kelly. He's been in the ring with every major champion that's come down the pipe.
It actually looked very authentic. Of course, John Duddy, world-class fighter, he didn't have any problem. And Nick, the newcomer, I think he did a lot of training, and he looked exceptionally good as a fighter. It looked like he could actually get into the ring and do some damage.
Once Nick got in and got relaxed and felt more free-flowing, he wasn't afraid. They let his hands go down, and I even said to him, he said to me one day, I don't want to hurt you. And I says, well, I've been trying to get knocked out for this last 20 years. It hasn't happened yet. Don't worry about it. Keep them coming, I
went home that day and told my stepfather what happened to me. And he decided to beat me again. My mother comes home and she's drunk. She decides she wants to join the fight. She picked up a 5-pound weight and throws it at me. My mother turning on me was the biggest hurt of my life. When I said, that moment, that's it. At the last straw, I clenched my right hand and I smacked my stepfather so bad all over the house, I wasn't beaten by either one of them ever again.
John was amazing, amazing. I've known John for years, and I kept saying, yeah, I invited him to be in a film with me last year. I did in LA, some Irish film, and he was all set to come, and something happened in the end. So I called him for this, and he immediately, I think I emailed him. I says, John, want to be in a play about a boxer? He says, yes. Like, he emailed me right back. I said, okay.
I thought Duddy was terrific. I thought he was great. First time, I told him, I says, do you know what you're doing? First time out, and you're carrying your own in an Off Broadway play. That's terrific. There's nobody. I have never seen anybody do that. This is a guy come out of the box and did great. To me, you know, he was fascinating to watch him do so well.
Well, I was lucky because, like, my first time on the stage, I was wearing a pair of gloves and I was on a ring again, you know, and that's very familiar territory to me. And when you're on that ring, or on that stage, it's just like when you were when I was in the ring. It's like there's like a black curtain falling down around where, you know, you're in there, you're on your own, and you know, you've got your job to do, and there's only one person that's going to make you do it, and that's yourself. You know, and I thrived on it, to be honest with you. It's nice to know that you're, you know, alive, and the butterflies was kicking, and you know, I think if you don't have that feeling in you, there's something wrong, you know.
Never worked with boxers before, you know. I worked with your dad somewhat in doing this play before, but I've never worked so closely with boxers. And I mean, Jimmy was saying that we're all egomaniacs, which we are, but everybody is really, you know. We got through all the difficulties. They're also the gentlest, some of the most gentle people I know, you know. And they're honest. People were honest with each other, you know, and everything worked out beautifully. Yeah.
It was cool, you know. It was like different. Who would think that would happen, and who would think that these boxers would do as well as they did? You know, I mean, that's a hard thing. That's a reach.
What I liked most about it, out of it all, was that we weren't on our own anymore. You know, we were there together as a team. And being a fighter, when you're in the ring, you're on your own. You know, as he says in your play, no matter how many times they're screaming your name or shaking your hand, there's nothing they can do for you. You're on your own. And in the play, I think we got a good tight bond with everyone, and we were able to lean on each other and hopefully help elevate each other to give out a good performance and tell the story how it should be told. You know, like it was nice just having that sort of safety net around you, a community of guys that have done the fighting, and now, even though we're on the ropes, so to speak, we're all together.
You know, I think there's a camaraderie that should be left alone between the fighters, and that should stay. You know, that's probably what made it work so well, is that each fighter is competitive in their own way, and that they feel for the other fighter. They want him to do good no matter what happens, because he's a fighter. And he represents fighters. He represents boxers, and he represents the sport of boxing. He did. You know, now he's got to do this thing, which is different, but the camaraderie that the boxers feel for each other, they're secretly pulling for each other. And that's what I liked, because I felt it. Yeah. I felt that, you know.
What was that other Irish kid on the undercard? Flynn, out of the Bronx. I had the bookie set up a parlay with you and that other Irish kid. You know, it was just like a week before I lost like a C note to the Bears. The Bears. Anyway, I need the money, you know, I really do. I need the money to get books for City College. I need it. So I parlay you and that other Irish fighter 10 times. 10 times.
I learn more about Patrick every time I do it. He amazes me every time I work with him. He has great experience in acting and life, and he's one of the funniest guys I know, and I love working with him. Sometimes it's like it kind of makes you mad that he's having fun and I'm over here so serious. I'm gonna hit this guy. I'm gonna kick him. No one can see him behind the bar. I'm gonna kick him under the bar.
Pat was terrific. Pat was great because he seemed so natural as a drunk. Yeah, and he would move his lips like, he did everything that he's supposed to do.
Seamus McDonagh, when he came aboard and I first met him, he instantly made me feel like I've known him all his life. I feel like I came up with the guy. And I would stand back looking at him and say, man, this guy fought Evander Holyfield, you know. And he never made you feel that he was superior or better or tougher than you, you know. He made you just feel on the same level. And I love that guy. He's something. He was great to work with. We had a lot of laughs. And also proud to call him my friend.
I knocked someone out once.
Who, Mother Teresa?
No, it wasn't Mother Teresa. It was in Sunnyside. It was a night that you fought Diaz. You fought Diaz. You went down like 4 times that night. The place is crazy, bottles flying, shit like that. Anyway, there's a guy in front of me. He takes a shot at me. I take a shot at him. He takes a shot at me. And then I take a shot at him.
Every night in my house, like Punch-Out City. My stepfather, he would smack us around. He'd hit my mother too. He was a smart hitter. He hit us behind the head, on the legs, just so we'd leave any marks. I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, going to bed at night, I wished I was dead. I closed my eyes and prayed. I didn't have to wake up. But no matter what the abuse, my mother would make us look at that man, and we'd have to smile and say goodnight, Dad.
I have a lot of pent-up anger, a lot of pent-up emotion that runs through my body when I get, close to this subject. Duddy gave me the impetus to really do it even better because I would listen to his lines about my mother throwing the weights and my father hit me on the legs and punching me, and I'm going to myself, and I started thinking about that, just the emotion would just pour out. And every time he did it, in fact, I need him to do that again, if we do it again. But it really was exciting. I lived that. I lived that every day, like having to be a fighter that, even though I lost fights and everything, but I was going through a battle with liquor, and it was a torturous battle. And it hurt my career, there's no doubt about it, at different times. But when I say I'm still here, I'm telling you right now, I'm still here. And you're never getting rid of me.
They're all gone now. Sunnyside Gardens, Fish Street Gym, St. Nick's, all of them gone. But not me. I'm still here.
Every once in a while I think about the old Randall line. I could have been a contender. Instead of the bum, which is what I am. Not me. I ain't no bum. There was some hard times, but no matter what road I went down, every day I looked up and I thanked God. Nah, I ain't no broken down pug. I put my 2 sons through college, and I haven't drank in 36 years. I'm still here. Bobby Cassidy, Kid Shamrock, sitting right in front of you.
Well, fighting, being a fighter, no, they tend to retire from boxing younger, and it's amazing than any other kind of career. You become a used to be. You used to be a fighter. You used to be, and that's nothing that you, I know in my early 30s you want to hear. And even when I told my father about when I was retiring, I says I was finished. And I said, don't be saying that, son, you're not finished. Boxing's finished. You're still here. And that's what I like about it, when your dad's sitting there going, I'm still here. Bobby Cassidy's sitting right in front of you. No, boxing's over, but the man's still standing and still fighting and still living, which is, okay, that chapter of our lives is over. We're starting to write new chapters,
The day John Duddy walked through the door, okay, I was anticipating. I have known Duddy. I've seen him fight, and I always admire him as a fighter. He came through that door, I was like, and we shook hands for the first time. He just had retired, and I'm in awe of him. He is just the real deal. By far, without question, Bobby Cassidy's the toughest guy that I've ever seen. That part that I play is me. I mean, I witnessed it all from a little kid, and right to the end. And honestly, and I'm not just saying this, he's my idol. I saw it all.
Really exciting to portray both, have done both. There's nothing that compares to it, because one is artistic and the other is artistic, and that's exciting when you can develop something else in your life that wasn't planned, but it turned out to be great. This play turned out to be great. People standing or ovation. I was looking at them going, why are they standing for and yelling? And I was very taken back by that. And I was glad when they stopped. But it was moving at the same time. It was like exciting. It's like almost like a real fight, you know. But it's not. It's easier. Tell you that much. A lot easier.
You look at the old fight scenes. I mean, your dad was a bad man. I'm telling you. I'm glad I never had to fight him. You know, he was a ferocious puncher and a southpaw to boot. But no, going there and seeing the fun that we had together, even the cast. I mean, like it was really, really entertaining being with that group of people. I mean, if that was work, I could do that for the rest of my life. I mean, I enjoyed it. I ran the work every morning whenever we were there rehearsing or there to perform, you know, and that's not a bad way to live your life, you know.
I was very fortunate to spar with many world-class fighters, including Jerry Cooney and Wilfred Cipion and your father. And one thing about me, I wasn't the greatest fighter in the world, but I was very durable and I could take a punch. In fact, I even sparred with Jerry Quarry. Nobody ever knocked me down except Bobby Cassidy. And I was like, I couldn't believe it.
What the fuck we're doing behind this fucking bar? You don't have no clue what's going on behind this bar. I mean, you have no clue whatsoever what me and Seamus are doing back here.
Darling, but when you're near, love you that.
Kid Shamrock was happy he'd gone home to a chicken pot pie with his wife and his 3 kids. Well, Kid Shamrock's going to say, this one here, 48-year-old Kid Shamrock, is going to say he's going home to a hot chicken pot pie.
I want a featherweight, the Dominican, and he weighed in about 125 pounds, soaking wet.
I had a featherweight once, Dominican kid. Came out of the Bronx, weighed about 125 pounds, soaking wet. The only time he got attention from his old man was when he was getting the shit beaten out of him.
I had a Dominican featherweight. And weighed about 126 pounds, soaking wet.
What happened was, first time he...
You like it, Bobby? You like it? Great, let's do it again.